Hello friends, my name is Masood. Today we'll discuss about a topic, what is database. Friend, today's topic is very interesting and especially if you are a student and studying database computer science, so this topic is very important with respect to exam point of view, and you will see this topic in the exam. At least 4 to 5 questions will definitely be there in the exam in which your concept related to database will definitely be checked. Also friend, if you are a professional and working in any organization as an IT professional, especially if you belong to databases, IT professionalism. So again, your concepts should be very clear about database, that how to deal with it and how to use it. So friend, let's start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell option as well so that my new videos can reach to you. So let's start. What is database? Friend, if you just see the term database, so it clearly shows you that it pertains to data. Okay, database means friend, for example, what is the difference between data and information? Data means raw data. Information means some specific information which is you are extracting from the data. So database is an organized collection of a structured information or data typically stored electronically in a computer system. A database is usually controlled by a database management system that is called as DBMS. Together, the data and the DBMS along with the applications that are associated with them are referred to as database system, often shortened to just database. See friend, and if you know something about computer science, friend, in computer science we have to store database. A database means friend, for example, if you are making a school management system, so obviously you need to store data related to students, teachers, courses, subjects, marks, exams, etc. So you need to store data somewhere so that you can extract it at whenever it's required and do the calculations on it. So a database it means that storing the data in a structured information manner so that you can extract it whenever it's required, and it should be stored electronically. Electronically means that many databases nowadays available like Oracle, Microsoft Access, file based systems. So means friend, basically storing of data electronically on a computer in a structured way so that it can be extracted whenever it's required and so that the information can be get. For example, let me give an example of database here. For example, you want to make an application for a school management system and you want to store data related to students, classes, teachers, subjects. So after the exam of class 5th, you want to know that who are the students who are having percentages in the exam of English which are having percentage more than 80%, for example. So you can, if your data stored structurally into the database into the on computer, so you can extract the data and you can display it into the application. So application is also based on the database. So database concept is that storing of data in on computer in a structured way so that it can be extracted whenever it's required. To talk with the database, normally we use the concept of SQL. SQL means structured query language. Structured query language means friend that it is just a language we use to talk with or communicate with the database. The main concept or main knowledge of SQL means that we use this language to communicate with database, and whenever we want to extract the data we can use the structured query language or SQL. Now moving towards the there are many types of databases available. One database type is relational database. Relational database are made up of a set of tables with data that fits into a predefined category. Each table has at least one data category in a column, and each row has a certain data instance for the categories which are defined in the column. Um, just think of this relational database means, friend, that you store the data in a table format. Okay, and for example, let me give an example here. For example, you want to store the database of you want to store data of a school management system. So you can make one table for student, one table for exam, one table for teacher. Okay, and you can link these tables by using the primary and foreign key relationship, and each table will have some column as well. For example, student has name, his full name, his age, subjects as well, and the teacher has the name, the subject, exam means the subject, and the passing mark, failure marks, etc. So all those types of information will be stored in the table. Table means set of table means the set of table rows and columns. This is the concept of table here. So relational database means that you store data in a table format, and each table has columns and rows, and these tables can be linked with each other by using the primary and foreign key relationship. That is the called the concept of relational database. Relational means it has some relation with other tables as well. Distributed database means that the database exists on multiple location. Like for example, just take the same example here. School management system, take the same example. You are sitting in for example, you are in USA, and your whole database will exist on the same location. Okay, however, if you want that your school management system can be accessed from multiple locations, so one solution is that you can distribute your data. That means, for example, the one database will exist at one location, another database will another city, another location, and the third database will exist in any other city and another location. So distributed database means the database exists in multiple locations and it is linked with each other. One advantage is that if there is any issue or physical problem in one city, one location, so other database will be survived and the problem will occur with only one location. Distributed database means the concept of distributed database means that database exists in multiple cities, multiple locations geographically, and you can link those database with each other. That is the concept of distributed. Cloud database means, friend, that the whole database will exist remotely. Remotely means, friend, for example, if you are using the let me give you an example of Salesforce here. For example, you are using the software of Salesforce, so the whole database will exist remotely. Like, you don't need to maintain the database at your own location. You don't need to hire a DBA to maintain a database to see the storage. The cloud database concept is that the whole database will exist remotely. All the things will exist remotely, remote servers, and those remote servers will managed by the cloud providers. Cloud means, when we talk about cloud means the remote. Basically, remote means, for example, you are in USA and the cloud servers exist in Canada, so all the database management, database services will be managed by the Canadian servers, and you just need to use the database whenever it's required, and you will have to pay it accordingly. That is the concept of cloud. Another type is NoSQL database. NoSQL database are useful for large sets of distributed data. Distributed mean, again, the database is exist at multiple location. However, you don't need to use the no you don't need to use the SQL language. Remember, friend, one thing that we always generally use the SQL languages for access the data. However, there are some database exist for which we don't need to use the for which we don't need to use the SQL languages. Object oriented database also exists, like the databases are which based on objects, like they don't exist based on the normal general concepts of databases. They based on the objects, basically. That is why it is called as object oriented database. Okay, this is the called as the concept of object oriented databases. Another type is graph database. Graph database means the graph oriented database is a type of NoSQL database that uses graph theory to store maps and query relationships. The best example is that company might use a graph database to mine data about customers from social media. Okay, this is the best example of graph database. So friend, thanks a lot for your time. I hope you like this video. If you like, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for your time.